share some ideas again. Recently, I was working with a client, and I was trying to get him to understand the idea of being your best self, right? Trying to probe him in kind of capturing and visualizing his best self. And he found it challenging, and sometimes I take for granted that not everyone is necessarily crystal clear on what their best version of themselves look like. And so what I suggested to him, and one way I've realized is a great way to actually understand what your best self looks like, is to think about what your previous best was. What was your previous best self? And how can we make that the new baseline, right? So making your previous best self, your previous best record, your new baseline. And so to give you an idea, I was having a conversation with my wife, and I was thinking about what this actually means for me in terms of actually becoming more clear on what the best version of me is. And I remembered my first job as a salesperson selling photocopiers, going door to door to door. And sometimes over a glass of wine, we have conversations about where we've come from. And I remember, the new business side of things, being in the office and calling up. It was my first job, by the way, my first ever corporate job, having left education quite early. And I'd call people up and, they'd hang up the phone on me when I'm trying to sell to them. And I remember, just phoning them back. And they'd hang up and phoning them back, and they'd hang up and I'd phone them back and saying, listen, I'm just trying to sell you something, mate. Like, I'm trying to have a conversation with you. I'm trying to add value where I can. Why are you hanging up on me? Why won't you listen to me? Or going out knocking on doors and having people slam the door in my face like I'm some kind of scumbag, and me pressing the doorbell again and saying, listen, why are you locking the door off on me? I'm just trying to talk to you about certain things, and just really being forthright and being absolutely fearless and thoughtless. And I think to myself, who was that guy? I had zero worry, zero concern, zero care, zero judgment. I was just fully on it. And for me, that is the best version of myself, a version of who I want to be. And so for me, I can now think about the next few milestones or key events I've got coming up and say, listen, how can I bring that guy into the moment? How can I make that previous record my standard, my benchmark from which I move forward? And that's my idea for you today, really. How can you make your previous best your new benchmark, your new baseline moving forward?